Good morning, traders. Welcome to Trading Together. I'm Mel Gacee. Today is Tuesday, April the 21st. We are dumping right now, and I have done some trading all the way down here. However, I'm going to be a little cautious here because this is a long drop. So, yeah, jumping right in, right? Well, welcome. If you're here, drop your hi in the chat, and I would love to get to meet you and answer any questions or comments you might have and help you if I can on your trading journey. This is a place where this is an educational stream. I'm going to take some trades in front of you if the setups present themselves, and I'm going to do that for educational purposes and just teach along the way. So if you have comments or questions, this is the place to drop them, and welcome. All right, I am thinking about this drop here. I've already traded it a few times. Gideon, good morning. It's a bit extended, but it is a pretty strong drop here. I'm going to go ahead and take my chance on another put right now. I am in, punch it. And this is for educational purposes only. Follow at your own risk. This is just to trade in front of you and show you how I do it. And we could be nearing a bottom here, so I may not stay in very long. Let's see what we get here. We're due for a green candle, that's for sure. All right, I'm going to jump out here. I'm out, punch it. That is not a break even, down just a little bit on that one, but I'm okay with that. It was a little too close to the bottom there. I knew it was a little bit of a shot there. So with this green candle coming on, I'm out. Val is here. No news, Val. This is the pullback that I've been waiting for. This is technical. No news that I can see. I mean, if someone has any, the market will always try to put a catalyst on it, but this is technical pullback in my opinion. But good morning, welcome. All right. So if you were with me on the earlier stream, I did take a put over here toward the bottom, and then they moved it against me. I got out at a loss, and then they pulled it back down. I was able to make back everything I lost and then some. So I'm slightly green today. But right now we've got to be careful because we are hitting the low of day from yesterday. Hatman is here. Good morning. They're going to start, I think, here to slow down on this move, but let's see what we've got. Let's see if we break this low of day from yesterday. If we do, I might jump in again. It's been a long move, so I've got to be careful. It's been a very long move. So got to be careful and cautious here. Freaky Turkey, good morning. All right, starting to see a little bit of green popping in here, so I'm going to wait. Again, we break down through here. I might jump in on another put, even though this is a very long move. Negus Solomon, good morning. Welcome. If you are new, welcome. It's good to have you here. What shall I call you? Solomon or Negus, or a different name? But thank you for saying hi. I appreciate it. Tatiana, good morning. Nick, great. Okay, Nick, welcome. All right, little bit of a slowdown here at yesterday's low. So that's this blue line here, and here's our push. We were overbought on the RSI for quite a bit here. Do you see this blue line here? That is overbought condition on the RSI. So here's our bounce. Matt is here. Good morning. Round two. Yes, sir. I was just saying, Matt, that I don't know if you saw, I posted a couple of alerts and I did trade this move all the way down. Even after that 50% loss, I was able to break even and even get a little bit of green here. So hopefully you guys were able to do that as well. All right, little bounce here. VIX got up to 19.7, it looks like. And Freaky Turkey is also Nick. Okay. Well, maybe I can call you Nick as well. Thanks for sharing that. Missed that one. Okay. I posted a couple of alerts on the platform. Matt, two or three, I want to say. Two, I think, on this drop here. So those were good wins. And I took a couple more. All right. Looks like a little possible bounce here. I don't know that I want to trade it. Let's see what we get. I don't know if I want to trade this bounce or not. We're still under the VWAP. Let's see if it wants to make another leg down. Or it just keeps going up. Let's see if they recover. It hasn't been much of a drop. So we got down to 7,100 and the SPX is holding 7,100 at the moment. All right. So looking like it's trying to recover. That was a big volume bar here. So, I mean, we could consider it, but I'm just not going to. I'm not going to take the call right now. Even if it climbs all the way back up to the VWAP and pushes back up again, then yes. But I don't think I want to take it here. This has been a kind of even though we didn't go too far, it's been kind of a strong sell. So let's give it a minute. All right, so while we're kind of watching this up move, I'm going to show you something on the futures that I showed you yesterday. I'm going to show it to you again because it's been absolutely historic, unprecedented. We have never seen this in the history of the stock market. We have never, ever seen 14 green consecutive days on the ES or the futures. I'll show you what I mean here. As of yesterday, not today, we're beginning to build a red candle today, but as of yesterday, we have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 green days on the ES futures. We have never in the history And the stock market is old, guys. It's very old. We have never, ever seen that. So this is really uncharted waters for sure. Now, we don't have those solid greens on the SPY or the SPX. I'll show you before we slip away. Look at today's candles. So here we're starting to get tired. They're getting a little tired. So Friday, this is the futures, right? So these numbers are different. Friday, we hit the high here. Monday, we did not hit the high. We came up, we didn't even reach Friday's close. We came just below it. That shows a little bit, even though it was a green candle, it shows it getting a little tired. And then today we did push up, but we have pulled back down. Right now we are below yesterday's close. If we close below yesterday's close and yesterday closed below Friday's close, that is telling us we're starting to get a bit tired. This move, good grief, isn't it about time? This is a crazy explosive move, unprecedented. So it is about time that it got a little bit tired. So we will see what we get today. Watch the close today. If we close below yesterday's close, that is going to be another sign that we might be starting to round over or get tired. It's a little early to tell yet. It's only 3 candles, but it's starting to look that way. But I'll show you on the SPY and the SPX, we did not have all of those green candles. We had a little red one here, a little red one here. So this push did get broken up by a couple of little tiny red candles in between. But again, this top looking very similar on the SPY. So here's the SPY. We hit the high on Friday at 712 on the SPY. Yesterday, look at this, is even more negative than the futures candle. Yesterday's candle looks very negative, right? Monday's candle, it tries to push up, and hopefully you can see it with all these lines. Let me zoom in even more. It's hard to see because it's a doji, but right here is the body of the candle. You can see that it tries to push up. Again, it cannot beat Friday's close. It tries to push, and it had been pulled all the way down here, and then it just closes with this tiny little doji. Now the doji just is the difference when the difference between the close and the open is small like this. That creates a doji. It represents indecision or reversal. So the doji, this is the open, this is the close. The body of the candle is about this big. It's a sliver. That's a doji. Today, we opened up and we pushed. We did beat yesterday's high. We did beat yesterday's close, but now look where we are. We are below yesterday's close and Friday's close. So if we continue this stair step down, that's a negative pattern. So we're going to have to be on our toes. This market has been challenging to trade. Yesterday's trading was rough. I took a put on this stream yesterday, and we weren't out of it when I stopped, and I did have to stop out on that one. So I took a loss on that put yesterday. And I did explain to you all what my criteria was, where I was getting out for profit, where I was getting out for loss. And so I did take that loss yesterday. I took a loss today. So this is not easy trading, and it's okay. It's okay to take the stops. We do get them back. We have a high win rate. It's important to take those stops, even though like this morning, I did take the put over here. I stopped out right here, and then it continued on down. Now my put would have been beautiful. I wouldn't have had to take the loss, but you can't trade that way. You got to take the losses, and it sucks. And you hate to see the chart saying if I'd have just hung in there, I would have made it. But guess what? The stock market does have the ability to teach you some bad habits. It rewards our bad habits sometimes, and that can hurt, because then on the times when it doesn't reward us, then we're really hurting. Okay, I'm looking at puts right now. We're getting a little bit of a round over here. I'm not in them yet. Let's see here. Move over. Not yet. I'm just looking at the puts. I'm not in them yet. Our MACD hasn't rolled over. I'm not convinced. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to move back to my futures chart. Okay, getting a little bounce here. Maybe. All right, we're starting to round over again. Not sure I believe them. We are sitting at 14 points negative, down from yesterday's close. 14 points from yesterday's close. Tatiana, what do the letters mean next to the ask and bid price? They really don't mean much, Tatiana. Usually, let me take a quick look. Usually the letters mean the exchange that it's coming from. Yeah, those are usually the exchanges. Don't worry about those. It won't matter much for your trading. Okay, look at that. See how they were trying to sucker us in here? That's why you got to wait for the MACD or your other confirmations. They're just trying to sucker us in there. Great question, Tatiana. All right, if they give us another push up, I mean, we could consider calls, but I really would rather wait until we get up over the VWAP. Andrew, good morning. No trades. Andrew, did you catch any that I put on the platform? I was able to bail out of that loss and get to a small green. Hopefully you saw a couple of those trades I took that while we were trending down here. I grabbed a couple of puts there and I posted them on the platform. But right now, Andrew, nothing, because we're just kind of pausing right here. So we stopped at the low of day from yesterday. We got a little bounce and then we got sideways. So now I'm just waiting to see what they're going to do here. Our MACD has not turned red yet, so no puts for me just yet. And I'm not really feeling calls, like I said, until we get up over this VWAP here. They're being a little bit tricky right now, so I'm going to be patient. Got 48. Great, Andrew. Glad to hear it. Our VIX has given us a little move up. 19.5 is where we're sitting on the VIX. So the Qs are still green. That's the NASDAQ. Sitting just at about 0.14, which is not much. All right, we're starting to get some down signals here. Tatiana jumped on the green candles and made 6%. Great job, Tatiana. The drop was so negative, it ignored the tick. Yeah, I saw that, Nick. It got down to the 1,000 on that drop, which was crazy. Got down right here. I think the lowest tick I saw was negative 1043. And then it did bounce, Nick, so you're not wrong. 1059 right here is where the lowest tick reading was. And then it went a little bit lower and then gave us a bounce. I'm going to go ahead and try the put here. I'm in, punch it. Remember that this is for educational purposes. If you follow, you do it at your own risk. I'm just teaching you the way I do it. All right, I'm up about, I'm going to get out here, punch it, I'm out. That is 10%. Wow, I guess they're going to delay my fill, jerks. Yeah, that was over 10% on that drop there. I am looking at 707 puts, but I'm not in. We're getting close to this temporary bottom that we just made, so I'm not going to jump in yet. The Qs have come down negative. We are getting some negative readings here. I am looking at puts again, but we're right here at this bottom. So I want to be careful. I'm not going to jump in just yet, but we're real close. Got quite a few red candles here. Gideon, 8%. Nicely done, Gideon. All right, there we go. Now let's see if we can break this high of day. There's so many red candles in a row. I hate to jump in right here. Let's give it a minute. Let's see if it can break the high of day. Sorry, I keep saying high of day. It's low of day from yesterday. 7:06 on the SPY. So I've been talking about this reversal that I've been waiting for, a sharp pullback, a sharp reversal. I wouldn't say we've hit a sharp reversal yet. It was a strong drop, but we're only down 23 points. That's not huge in the big scheme of things, but this is the kind of the reversal I've been waiting for. So we'll have to wait and see if they follow through or if this is just a short-term little pullback. We are not far from all-time highs, not far at all. David, down 24K, now up 14K. What a turnaround. Yeah, David, I was down and then up. So congrats. I'm glad that you're doing so well. I turned mine around as well with this drop, was able to profit on that. And so this kind of just gives some support to what I always say about keeping your stops. You keep your stops even at 50%, you can get back from that even in the same day. It's really important to keep your stops. That is the number one name of the game. So great job to you, David. We're just slowing down here. This is why I didn't want to jump in because of this stop earlier at the low of day. So I'm just going to wait and see what we get. All right, David, wish I kept my stops this month. Got murdered without doing that. Ego and thinking I need to be right was the death of me. It is death to the trader, needing to be right. And thank you for your transparency, David. I'm sure it will help a lot of other traders to know that it is important to keep our stops. And a lot of traders struggle with that. I struggled with it for years, taking losses and being wrong. And once I was able to really make peace with that, that is when I became a profitable trader. So it is really, really important to keep your stops. And it is really important to say, okay, I was wrong on this one. And even this morning, I will say, I was wrong on the trade in my entry. I was right on the direction because here we are, but it doesn't matter, right? I don't need to be right. Even if I was right on the direction, it stinks to see it come back down. I would have made money on it if I'd have held it. But that thinking has hurt me in the past. When I was a newer trader, that thinking of, oh, if I'd have just held on to it, it would have turned around. Because the market, like I said earlier, the market will reward that behavior sometimes. And other times it will eat your lunch. Big time. Big time. It's not worth it. Take the stop loss and keep trading. Follow your system. Use your head. You will be just fine. Like I said, I'm already green today. So that's really, really the lesson here. So hold on to that, guys. Okay. Really important. Especially when you're working with big dollars, it hurts more. I don't know, DT, if it hurts more. I'll be honest. When I was trading in a small account, some of those losses really hurt because you don't have the ability in a smaller account. You can't trade on margin because you can't day trade. Your cash account is limited. So once you're out of bullets for the day and you've taken a beating, and you're down, a big chunk of your account, that is pretty hard to recover from. It's a little easier to recover from in a large account. So I would say it hurts about the same, honest truth. It really does. All right, this run held bottom band of the VWAP on the ES. It sure did. It sure did, Nick. That is exactly where it's set. And remember, that is also, Nick, right at this blue line. So this blue line is the low of day from yesterday. It held it here at 11:05 Eastern. And again, right here, this wick down to the line at 11:27 Eastern, held both times. So that low of day is important. The bulls are trying to pull this back up. And like I said, we're not far down. It's only 17 points down. That's no big deal. All right, Kevin. According to TOS, they have not lifted the put rule yet. PDT, yeah. Nope, they have not lifted it yet. They've got 45 days to implement that, Kevin. I've heard that they're going to sooner than later, which would be great, but they have not lifted it yet. All right. David, actually wish they could stop me from trading on my bad days. Yeah. There are some platforms, I think, that you can actually, if you hit like a certain drawdown, you can actually lock yourself out of your platform. I guess that could work. I would never do that, but I guess, that might work for some people. If you've hit a certain drawdown, you just have your platform lock you out. That would drive me crazy. All right. So we took a fun little win. But right now we're just doing a little bounce off this bottom here. Let's see what we do with it. I won't trade right now until we break down through it, I don't think. And I need to see us come up higher to trade any kind of a call. I don't want calls right now. All right, David, just kidding. I would die if I got locked out of my trading. Yeah, same. Same. Already get the jitters Sunday to Monday. Me too. I'm always ready for Monday. I do miss trading on the weekend. It's very true. All right, moving back down. If there was enough room to trade from here to here, I would do it, but there's not. It's not worth the risk to come down here and get another bounce. It's not big enough to make enough profit for me to take the risk. So I'm not going to do it. I'm also not going to trade anything to the upside until we really firmly break this little mini top that it just made here. All right, 70.85, lots of support from yesterday. Yep, that's exactly right. And remember, that's what I said. This is the low of day from yesterday. This is where the support is coming in. This is yesterday's low of day where we are slowing down. Now, if we break it, I'm in for another put. Our VIX is currently sitting at 19.8, just a hair away from 20. We did hit 20 yesterday. So the VIX is starting to perk up a little bit. It's starting to pop up a little bit. So we need to pay attention to that. All right, looking like a negative signal here. Getting the MACD to turn red. We are right at the low of day. I'm going to watch for a break here. The volume is picking up. David, we are in sync. We think a lot alike. All right, there's the break coming on big volume. Not trading it just yet. I'm waiting. We have one MACD bar that's red. VIX popping to 19.9. Our ticks are at almost 1,000 again. We got to watch that. Another bounce off the low of day. See the tick chart over here, guys? Right here, this last candle came all the way down. I have lines drawn on my tick chart. This is the 1,000 negative line right here. We just came down and tagged it and jumped. So 1,000 plus or 1,000 minus is an extreme tick reading. John Carter made that indicator kind of famous. He was the one who really talked a lot about the ticks and how to trade those. I don't trade the ticks. I just watch them for these extreme movements. So right here, we hit that, like I said, that 1,000 negative, almost 980, I guess it was, and then got a little bounce here. So those sometimes will keep you out of trouble if you watch them. All right, let's see if we make another run at it. MACD is bright. $26 points negative, sitting at 70.86. So we broke down through 7,100. That's a psychological level. And we're trying to hold right here at yesterday's low of day. VIX is at 19.9. Yes, sir, David, it is. Yep. And we'll look at the VIX chart here in just a minute. I'm really watching for a break here. If we break it, I'll jump in, I think. But so far, it's just sideways. And this is that mess that went on for hours yesterday. Oof. I traded it and it was rough. That was rough trading yesterday with that sideways movement. All right, market watch is not that red, a lot of green. Yeah, David, I've got Microsoft up, Amazon up, Broadcom up. So those three from Mag 7 are kind of holding us up here. But let's look at those charts, right? So it might still be red, but let's take a look. Let's look at Microsoft. Really looking a bit sideways, doesn't it? We got a strong climb and then a dump and then a bounce and then it's kind of just sideways, kind of like what we're doing right now. Oil up a little bit today, not as much as yesterday, up about 3 points. Let's look at Amazon's chart. Amazon can't get over the VWAP today. Look at that. It popped once here, but it has not been able to get up over the VWAP. That is not, even though Amazon is green, that's not a positive chart. That's not. Let's look at Palantir just for the heck of it. Push up, push down, back to the VWAP and sideways, kind of like what we're doing. Meta, up and over and down and back to the VWAP. Everybody's kind of under the VWAP, even though they're green. Most everybody under the VWAP right now. Here's the NQ, well under the VWAP. The Dow, ooh, the Dow is dumping. Look at that. Even though the Dow is only down 0.2%, look at how it has dumped from this high today. Oof, that's negative. Here's NVIDIA. Same situation. Hopping around, but under the VWAP. IWM, oof. Just like the Dow, looking ugly. Doesn't look good. All right, we need to get back to our chart because I think we might be getting ready for a play. Let's see. Where'd SPY go? A signal that we're going to hold or break down. Looks to me like a breakdown coming. It doesn't have to be today, though. Remember that. But most of these charts are looking like a breakdown coming to me. Nothing to do here but watch this. All right, getting a little green here. VIX coming down just a bit. Let's take a look at the VIX. So this is the VIX so far for today, giving us a pretty slow and steady grind up all morning. See it here? We got that little pop and drop, and then since then it's really kind of been legging up here. So TM is moving yellow. TM. Do you mean the TTM, Andrew? Are you looking at the TTM squeeze alert or TTM squeeze indicator? And you're saying that the MACD is turning green. Yes, the MACD is definitely turning green here for sure. But I'm not trading calls here. It's too far under the VWAP. Yeah, gotcha. Okay, thank you. It's just too far under the VWAP for me. I don't want to trade them. Doesn't mean we can't come running up here. We can. All right. So here's, again, daily on the VIX, slow creep up. Let's look at, I said daily. That was the minute. Let's look at the daily. Okay. First green candle on the VIX in a hot minute. Take a look at that. Now, this is just so far today. We've got all the rest of the day for this to finish forming, but we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 red candles on the VIX. Today is the first green candle we've seen in almost 2 weeks of trading. So crazy, right? That is something to pay attention to. Strong bounce off of the 200 for the VIX. This is the 200 right here. All right. So on our volumes, we've got the highest volume today sitting at the 710 calls. So 710 calls had the highest volume today. And we got up as high as 711. 711 calls were also elevated. That is the second highest volume. 710 calls, 711 calls. Then our next highest volume is going to be at 712 calls, which we never did hit, but we got close. So since we've already been there, we don't have to go back. We can, but with that elevated volume, it might tell you that, oh, we're going to go there. Not necessarily. We've already been there, so we don't necessarily have to go back. On the put side, the highest volume is sitting at 707. And we've got volume building at 706 and 705. And we're sitting at 706. So 705 is building on the lower volume. So far, this low of day holding nicely. And again, we're just not down that far. It feels like a really dramatic drop, and it is, but we're just not down that far. 18, 17 points below yesterday's close. That's nothing. We can turn this around real quick. We're sitting at 70.95 on the SPX, which means we could come up here and grab 7,100, and they might want to hold on to that. The bulls might want to grab that 7,100 and hold it. So let's see. I want to say that's what this little top is here. Let's see. 10 points. No, it's this little top is a little over 7,100 on the SPX. So we're kind of right there, 70.96. So we might come up and try to grab that. All right. Little move here. We've got the VIX coming down. And looks like they're trying to capture 7,100. Let's see if they do it. It's about 3 points overhead. Not too much, not too hard. Kind of right here where this line is. It's at the 50 EMA on the SPY. Thank you, Nick, right? Freaky turkey. Let's put that 50 on here. On what time frame, Nick, are you talking about there? On the 1 minute. Thank you. I'll turn mine on. I had it turned off. The lines get so overwhelming. I try to turn them off once in a while. But let's take a look at what you're saying. Yeah, good eye there, Nick. Exactly right. And we got a rejection off of it. You see that? Right there. All right. I am holding 707 puts that I might take here in a minute. Again, I really want to see this low of day fail first. So as of right now, they were unable to recapture 7,100 on the SPX. So that's negative. Moving right back down to the low of day from yesterday. That's negative. Just need it to break. Or they're just going to move us sideways, which again, that was their trick yesterday, all day long sideways. So hard to trade. All right. And UNH is our big mover up today. It's just under 8%. It was up much higher earlier. It's come down a bit, but UNH had earnings, and I I haven't seen the earnings. I'm assuming they did very well because they've been up very nice and strong today, although they are coming down just a bit off their highs. So this Andrew, I know you were talking about the MACD going green, but when we've come off of like a strong move down and we're firmly below the VWAP, I I usually try to hold off on these type of moves because this one I don't think would have gotten us much, if anything. Now, it doesn't mean that they won't push it back up again, but that's why I'm usually cautious. Um, I don't always follow this. This is more of a guideline, but puts below the VWAP and calls above is usually my rule of thumb, but it's a guideline. Sometimes I will take a reversal trade if it makes sense, right? All right, so the MACD is still a little bit green here, but it's getting tired. Looks like it wants to roll over. So we're getting close to a rollover here. But again, we're so close to this low of day. I'm not going to take a put trade at the moment. We're just too close to where we've stopped. This is right now, this is a double bottom. Right now, that's a bullish pattern. Double bottoms are a bullish pattern. However, we're coming back down to test it. So I'll trade a break of it, but not in here. And these are teeny little candles. They're not even moving. They're just inching downward. They're trying to, feels like they're trying to sucker us in, doesn't it? All right, there's our red MACD. All right, double bottom into the TTM squeeze is going to rip one way or the other. Yep, I agree, Nick. Probably. No, I think it will. Although I will say yesterday, I kept expecting a break of the range and we never got it. Never did get it. So that's unusual. Usually we'll see the range and it'll go sideways for, it can go, I've seen it go for, a good couple of hours, but usually we break out of the range. Yesterday, nope, we just held it. And I showed you that tiny little doji that we made yesterday on the daily. That was the range. That thin, I'll show you again. That thin little body of the candle, that was the range we lived in all day long. It was maddening. All right, so here's our, you can see the doji even better on the SPY, but it shows up pretty nicely on the SPX as well. So you see, this is yesterday's candle. We could not, like I said earlier, we couldn't break yesterday's high. We couldn't get up over it. And then we just lived in this little range. I'll show you on the SPY. It looks even more, a little bit more dramatic. And look at that. You can't even see the body. It's so thin on the SPY. And that is what we did all day. We just zigzagged inside this little tiny range. It was very, very challenging. But this candle told me we could be heading toward a reversal. So today's candle, of course, seems to be confirming that. Now, you never know. They play a lot of games. but it does look like we're starting to get a slowdown here at this all-time high. So that's that. Whew. All right. So still kind of sitting in here in this range, just under 7,100 on the SPX. I do think the bulls want to try to come up here and reclaim that if they can. And watch for a couple of things. So as we start getting a little bit of a slowdown here, building a top over the last 2 days, that's too soon to call a top, way too soon to call a top. We could definitely turn and run right back up. So I'm not calling a top here, but I am saying we are getting tired. So watch today, watch the close. What I want to see happen today, either they're going to let this go and they're going to dump it. That's one scenario. They're going to keep it sideways like they did yesterday and close it here down a little bit red. Or they're going to turn and recapture 7,100 and try to go hit a new high. If they turn and run it, especially toward the end of the day, so if they kind of keep it down today in this level and, you know, don't really drop it hard and they turn and push it closer to the end of the day, I might consider some overnight puts for tomorrow. But I would only do that with a very small position because those types of trades are what I call a lotto trade. They're a lot risky. They either pay off big or they fail big. There's not usually much in between, although there is sometimes. But if we do see that turn and run at the end of the day, no matter how far we dump down, if we see a turn and a push up, a good hard push toward the end of the day, I will really consider some puts because usually they seem to do that. They seem to want to make you think we're going in a certain direction the day before. I've seen them do that before. It doesn't have to happen that way, but I've seen it happen several times where they'll try to fake you out. You know, oh, we're pushing up and we're going higher, and then they pull the rug with a big gap down. Again, doesn't have to happen. It's a lotto trade, but watch for that. Watch for the end of the day push. All right, we are coming up to the end of the stream here. We took a good win. Wasn't huge, but it was nice. I think it was 10%, right? Isn't that what we got? Did we take more than one, you guys? Did we take two? Oh yeah, I took that little loss first. Yeah. And then I took the win. So coming up to the end of the stream, I will be back here again tomorrow morning at 9:25 Eastern. We had retail sales today. We didn't really talk about that, but retail sales was good. We don't have a ton of data, but we do have earnings for Tesla tomorrow night. That's going to be potentially a market mover. Thursday, Wednesday, we really don't have much in the way of data. We do have crude oil inventories, and those are mattering more now than they did before. But Thursday, we'll get PMI, manufacturing and services. So that'll be important. And again, Wednesday night, we'll get Tesla earnings. That'll be a big deal. Okay, big push here. Look at that. All right. Aren't you glad we didn't take anything? I am. All right, guys. I do like to forget about my losses quickly. You're not wrong, David. It wasn't bad though, so it didn't affect me much. All right, guys, it has been a great day. I appreciate you. Watch this top here. If we break up through this top here, or we gain 7,100 on the SPX and start pushing, that is definitely more bullish. So I'm watching for that. If we drop down through this low of day, I'll be watching for negative trades, put trades down through. But right in between here, I'm not going to trade. So that's where we are at. And Gideon asking for thumbs up. Thanks, Gideon. I appreciate you. And he's right. If you guys don't mind putting a thumbs up or subscribing to the channel, it really helps me grow. And that would mean a lot to me. So thank you so much. Thanks for being here, guys. We had a great day. We'll be back again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. Bye for now, everyone.